Flamengo makes an exception to sign John Arias already for 2026. They will try to take the player from Wolverhampton in the Premier League who took João Gomez from Flamengo. Yeah, man, we have exclusive information here. I love when we have this kind of exclusive info. By the way, I'll also be talking about Guilherme Flazuero's interview with Jose Boto because it's related to this whole situation as well. Well, that's when we did our investigation about John Arias, a joint effort, bringing you a lot of information as well. Look, well, we're also going to talk about Everton Araujo here. We're also going to bring the mixed zone, where Arrascaeta says, you have to believe, dream big, have faith, and we'll also bring other Flamengo players participating in the mixed zone. Many missed Menga's training and weren't notified. We're bringing it here now, but we're going to talk about the transfer market.
The Club World Cup.
President, good evening. You just arrived here in Qatar. You came today for Debesh's award ceremony. I wanted you to talk a little about everything that's happening in Qatar, including Debesh. Focus on the Intercontinental Cup, where Flamengo plays in tomorrow's final, regarding SG.
It's a very special moment for us to be here in Qatar competing in this Intercontinental Cup, a unique moment. So I hope that the football gods, St. Jude Thaddeus, are with Flamengo tomorrow and that we can bring this title home to our nation.
President Alejandro Dominguez, President of Confederación Sudamericana de Fútbol, and Samira, who came by and spoke with us earlier, they said they don't agree with the regulations of the Intercontinental Cup, right? Regarding the South Americans, they said they're united to push for fairer regulations. What's your opinion about that?
Even though the football calendar around the world has been very challenging this year, not only in Brazil, but also in Europe, and because of the World Cup. As a consequence, though, having reached this format for the Intercontinental Cup, it's impossible not to say that it's absolutely unfair. You have to play 3 matches. Flamengo, I think, will reach their 80th match of the year tomorrow against a club that needs no introduction, right? Because of their technical quality and who will play only 1 match. So this is anything but a tournament, right? Yeah. It's not a tournament. There's no tournament. In this Brazilian championship, Flamengo won. So next year they'll play 19 matches while other clubs play 38. That doesn't make much sense, but I'm glad the topic is being discussed, and I hope there will be adjustments for the next season. For 26, whether Flamengo is here or not, I hope they come more often. I believe there's a fairer format where we don't play 3 matches and Paris Saint-Germain only plays 1.
Yesterday, the Brazilian Football Confederation released the Brazilian Championship schedule and confirmed changes for the upcoming season. The allocation of Libertadores spots, now fewer in the Brazilian Championship, and also the limit on games for a player to transfer to another club, with up to 12 matches allowed before a transfer. How does Flamengo view this change?
Look, I believe that justice should be done. There have been advances in these 6 months of Brazilian Football Confederation. Some issues that had been on hold for many years have been addressed. I believe that this change, allowing you to play 12 games, is better for those who understand the process of signing players in the middle of the year. When you do that, you favor the domestic market, you open up the possibility of signing players in the domestic market. If you put a limit on games, you have to bring in a player from outside who might even be on vacation, who will cost much more than in the domestic market. You'll pay an 18% tax on overseas transfers, right? In the end, the Brazilian soccer system lost. So I think the change came to meet a demand that had existed for some time, and it was the right thing to do regarding the schedule. As a whole, we can see progress. Many of the reflections that were brought up by the clubs and by Flamengo throughout 25 were taken into account for the good of football. And considering the fact that you have a World Cup and the natural challenges you face in fitting in all the matches, local federations like Flamengo and Rio de Janeiro significantly reduced the number of matches. The Copa do Brasil also saw adjustments. So I see that these moves as a whole, even if not definitive, are absolutely positive for Brazilian football.
President, you mentioned, as the president of Flamengo, about the expectations for tomorrow's match. I would like you to talk a little bit about your expectations as a fan as well, to experience again what you lived in '81.
Is it unpublishable to speak as a fan? As Roberto Carlos would say, strong emotions, truly special. Thank you. I believe we've had a magical year so far. And I sincerely hope, as a fan, that the magic doesn't end tomorrow or isn't tainted tomorrow. Let's leave it at that.
In this magic, you know that Flamengo has never lost when GRTV was broadcasting the game, right? Tomorrow it happens again.
I'm pretty superstitious. Oxala, I already knock on wood.
Hey, President, we also heard about inquiries this week, right? Interest from European clubs. About Jose Boto, I wanted to ask you how things are going regarding Boto's possible contract renewal with him and also with Coach Felipe Luis.
Look, about Boto's situation, I don't know. But as for Boto, he's happy. He will remain president of Flamengo for the next 2 years, working very hard to bring joy to the nation. Thanks, guys. Good night. Thank you.
And what about Felipe's situation?
Felipe is well and focused on tomorrow's game. Thank you, President.
Subscribe to the channel. Chegar daquele jeito says, what's up, guys? Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Very well. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro-Negro channel. If you're new, follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe below. Click the bell to turn on notifications and like the video. We have a special offer. I already won, man. Look at me. I have a very interesting tip to share with you here because it's the World Championship final. It's a really important game, and we have some important situations going on. Look, Flamengo reminding everyone to play responsibly. It's for ages 8 and up. It's for fun. For betting, Flamengo is paying 5. People aren't really believing in Mengo, are they? Over at Ganhei, they're not really believing, are they? Paying 5 December 17th, right? A beautiful date, God willing, 2 post-meridium. So as for the world again, man, that one really deserves it, huh? That little odd is deserving of a Mengao win in regular time, although I think it's going to be tough and go into overtime. Penalties, I would go with Flamengo to win on penalties, huh? Paparazzo Rubro-Negro's tip, Flamengo wins on penalties. But look, there's a really cool situation here for us to talk about, okay? There are some special ones here. I won for Danilo to score with a header, right? In the Paris Saint-Germain versus Flamengo match, for Danilo to score a goal with his head. It's paying 10 for Flamengo to win and over 2.5 goals in the match and over 7.5 corners. 10. Spectacular, okay? And Flamengo to win the match. Here's one that has a value limit. It's $, 1.00, but it's worth it. You can have some fun with it. It's just some spare change, 20 on Flamengo to win in regular time. That's really good. The link is always there in the bio, highlighted in our Instagram stories. So it's worth placing your bet, always responsibly, for ages 8 and up. And the fun in investing in Ghanaian, that's right, let's go. Yeah, I'm here too. By the way, look. Let me show you that there's a little lightning bolt up there. That's where you find the place to try out these new features we've brought here. Now, well, let's go. I have some information here about John Arias to share with you, and this one is very important. We just posted on our social media because Flamengo made an offer for the Colombian John Arias. Okay? According to a source connected to the board, Flamengo did confirm our information from an intermediary that we brought earlier on Placa. With the score open, Flamengo made the first contact for John Arias and presented a project to the Colombian, who hasn't responded yet. Even so, there is optimism among the red-black directors. The information was first brought on Placa Roberto, right? I mentioned it on Placa Roberto, despite focusing on Brazilian players. In an interview given to Guilherme Flazuero, on Canal Flazuero, Boto said yesterday that he would prioritize Brazilians in signings. The board approved the signing, and if the player gives a positive signal, Flamengo will make an exception. We're talking about John Arias, okay? Talks haven't advanced yet, a source close to the board says, but there's real interest in bringing John Arias to Ninho do Urubu. Okay. It's worth remembering that the Brazilian Football Confederation is considering reducing the limit of foreign players per team in the Brasileiro per match, right? With this scenario, Flamengo is already planning to seek Brazilian players in the market, making an exception only for John Arias or maybe some other big name from the international market. Okay, so John Arias. Flamengo is making an exception for the Colombian player, and that would be a good move. The fans are commenting, "Can be happy, great option." He's been Fluminense's best since 2022. Flamengo world champion. If he comes, the team's level will rise further. If this John Arias joins Flamengo's team, he would be a great player. I agree on tactics and physical aspects. Let's see if Flamengo can persuade John Arias despite his strong ties to Fluminense, right? We have some other information here to share with you about Everton. Araujo, okay? According to Leo Jose, a reporter from Coluna do Fla, Grêmio has made a formal offer of 5 million euros, about 32 million reais to Flamengo, for the midfielder Everton Araujo. So, at 22, coach Luis Castro directly requested the player, and the Rio Grande do Sul club is offering a 3-year contract. Flamengo owns 70% of the player's economic rights, and Volta Redonda holds the remaining 30%. So Grêmio, wanting to sign him, is offering 32 million reais for Everton. Araujo has to keep him. If they're going to sell him, I don't think it's worth it, because he's doing great, playing really well. You have to get a bank guarantee, right? A lot of teams out there don't pay Flamengo. And still on the topic of foreign players, it's Flamengo, man. Flamengo. If they have to negotiate someone, they should only negotiate one. De La Cruz, who's been having physical problems one after another, right? We really root for him, but he hasn't been able to keep a streak going. Alan De La Cruz should prioritize selling those guys, not Everton. Araujo, for me, Everton Araujo is a great young player that Flamengo should keep. If anyone should be sold or negotiated, it's De La Cruz, as that would free a foreign player spot. Still, I'm against his departure. Matias was coming, but they're not using the guy. So Flamengo must negotiate unused foreign players to make room for a Tati Castellanos or Beltran. That's it, okay? Yeah, we even have it here. I already talked earlier about Andres Pereira's statement. It's a shame to attack the institution, attack Flamengo's fans, talk nonsense. That guy really managed to play. If anyone still respected or cared for him and had defended him, that's now over. There's not a single Flamengo fan who defends this guy. After all this, okay? We also have here to bring you part of the interview with Coach Luis Henrique from Paris Saint-Germain, where he mentions Flamengo in some situations. We also have Julio César at the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, the best event. We have Julio César. Paris Saint-Germain trained at Al Hayyan's field, which is where the game will be, since Flamengo had 2 games there and is already used to the pitch. They trained there today. Fédération Internationale de Football Association invited Flamengo to train too, but they declined. Do they already know this? So Paris Saint-Germain trained on that field today, and we even posted it on our social media. Before I bring it up, this press conference with Luis Henrique. And also the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, the best. There with Julio César, and the mixed zone from Flamengo's training with Arrascaeta. Jorginho and everything else, I'll bring Jorginho speaking. In fact, we had the Danilo saying that the Bayern match served as a great learning experience for the group. Jorginho saying that they need to go beyond their limits to beat Paris Saint-Germain. And Rascaeta saying that our hope is what keeps us alive and makes us believe until the end. And us, Roberti. So, I'll bring everything here for you. I just need to bring here the statement from President Alejandro Dominguez, President of Confederación Sudamericana de Fútbol, saying that he considers it unfair. We never agreed with it and are working to change it. From the European side, they only play the final. Just look at that.
I consider on one hand that the path for Flamengo, the path for the Libertadores champion to reach the final is much longer. Very much so. I would even say it's unfair, but that said, I think Flamengo had a great campaign. It's very short term. There's every reason to believe that tomorrow they could win another trophy. In fact, we never really agreed with
Never agreed.
the changes that happened in the championship. We think that the story is somehow in favor of Sul America. But these things happen. We have to fix it within Federación Internacional de Football Association, and we're working on it.
We have to fix it. We have to fix it. Alejandro Dominguez, to be clear, has to fix it with the president of the Brazilian Football Confederation.
Very important for Brazilian football. Tomorrow we are all Flamengo. Very important for Brazilian football.
Samachot says this is crucial.
Flamengo has been sending campaign messages all year. They've already lifted 2 trophies this year. I believe this title.
National and international hasn't been more, okay? You're downplaying the Super Cup. Super Cup, let me remind you, it wasn't 2 big trophies like Libertadores and the Brazilian Championship. Okay, but Super Cup Carioca, Derby of the Americas Challenger Cup, and you can even win the World Championship, okay?
It's highly anticipated by the Brazilian people and especially by Flamengo's fans. Tomorrow we are all Flamengo.
We all support Flamengo tomorrow, so let's cheer for Mengão. Brazilian Football Confederation President Alejandro Domingos just spoke here.
Cheer for Flamengo, not just for Flamengo, but for South American football. It's time to bring this trophy to Confederación Sudamericana de Fútbol, and especially to Flamengo. So today, Flamengo represents South American football, and we're going to cheer for Flamengo, no doubt about it.
Alejandro Domingos says Flamengo now represents South American football and is playing the best in years, right? So it's nice to see that CONMEBOL wants this title to come back to CONMEBOL, to South America. Look at that. Bettina talked about Flamengo. A tough team.
He already said they have very experienced players who know what they're doing in Europe. Also, so in terms of quality, we expected a very tough team. We've already had that experience against Brazilian teams, but this is a final and we want to win it, so we'll be at 100%.
A very tough team. Evaluating Vitinha, evaluating Flamengo, okay? Yeah.
Look, everyone knows.
Like the defender Marquinhos, also speaking.
Flamengo is a team of very high level. They have players with European experience, national team backgrounds, and plenty of high-level game knowledge.
You're speaking in French, okay? I'll translate here. Look, I think everyone knows how. The Flamengo team is a very high-level team. There are players who played in Europe, who played for the national team, who played many high-level games. They know how to play a final like this. My team is prepared for this. We trust in our playing philosophy. We will do what we've been doing all season. I think that's the key to winning this game, especially respecting the opponent and especially respecting this game plan and philosophy. There you have Marquinhos. So the Paris Saint-Germain players are respecting Flamengo, but saying they trust Coach Luis Enrique's playing philosophy to beat Flamengo. Back to you. Now then, I'm going to take a part of Luis Enrique's interview and the mixed zone from Flamengo's training session.
Julio, tomorrow Flamengo will have another big match in its history. Many consider Paris Saint-Germain the world's best team. For you, who played in Europe for so long, did you have this kind of matchup against the biggest teams in Europe? The gap has slightly narrowed, but it's still huge, and a win would require a magical day.
Man, that's a good question, but let's talk about the last time Flamengo was in this competition when they faced Liverpool. Right there. I believe Flamengo played on equal terms. We didn't see a huge superiority from the European team, unlike other matches where the goalkeeper, always the Brazilian goalkeeper, would always win the best player on the field. So I think that Flamengo today, with everything they've been building in recent years, with Marquinhos and what Flamengo has, he really knows European soccer. I think Flamengo has what it takes to beat Paris Saint-Germain, boss. A Chinese showdown. Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto. Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto. Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto. Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto. Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitled by Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitled by Adriana.
Subtitled by Adriana
Zanotto. Subtitled by Zanotto.
Subtitle.
Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto.
Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. Subtitle Adriana Zanotto. How are you all feeling before the game? How's the group? It's good. You can see people have managed in a way to maintain a healthy level of relaxation, which is important. I believe that in this kind of moment, the greatness lies in not changing the dynamics too much, the way we interpret training or our daily routine, so that we can do the same on the field, because obviously we know the level of motivation and the importance of this match. But at the end of the day, it's just another game, obviously against a very tough opponent. But there isn't a big change in behavior that will make us win the game.
Danilo, you have a longtime teammate on the other side. Marquinhos, your national team partner for many journeys. In a decisive game like this, it's just another normal day. Have you talked, exchanged messages, or said anything to him yet?
Marquinhos never replies on WhatsApp, so I usually call since I only get a response after 5 or 6 days. Right now, we haven't talked much, with each of us defending our own side. But there's a lot of affection, a huge respect, especially in these last years with the Brazilian national team, where we had some tough moments. Marquinhos and I had a strong partnership and camaraderie to be able, in a way, to be ahead of situations and, in a way, shield some of the younger players. I have great respect and affection for him.
Marquinhos, did you come to the mix zone before the Chelsea game too? You said you didn't remember losing the game to Chelsea until then, and then you won the game afterwards. How was it? What's your record against Paris Saint-Germain?
If my memory serves me right, with Futebol Clube do Porto, I won and lost against Juventus. I don't think I won, okay? But obviously, it's a new moment. It's a different experience. And we're going to do everything possible to play a great match, have a great night, and live another special night for Flamengo.
Danilo, yesterday, Luis Araujo talked about not making the same mistakes that happened, for example, in the match against Bayern Munich. Today, Felipe Luis called it a perfect match. Do you think Flamengo's big trick in this match against Paris Saint-Germain, which is such a strong opponent, is it the mental challenge of staying focused for all 90 minutes without losing concentration even briefly due to the opponent's strength?
I think so. The way we start the game and handle the first few minutes obviously has a huge influence throughout the whole match. The other day I heard a phrase, a way of looking at life that says we are a succession of chances in chaos. Many things often aren't up to us, but the chances we encounter depend on our preparation, commitment, and determination. I believe that the match, especially against Bayern Munich, was a great learning experience for this game and that it can have a positive effect for tomorrow's match.
Danilo, how are you here in Spanish? This match, well, against an elite team, there's a certain pressure beyond just the team you're facing. You know you must play perfectly, since any mistake against this team can be deadly. And are you also aware that if you win, you could make history, not just for yourselves, but for the American continent as well?
We know it's a very tough match. We know what will happen if we make mistakes, if we have errors, which might not be very easy. We're calm, obviously, fully focused, and trying to win the match to, as you said before, represent our continent. Thank you.
After Flamengo's first victory here at the World Cup, did they talk about the personal sacrifice you made, which was changing the date of your child's birth so you could join the whole group? I wanted you to talk a little about that because we're very used to seeing fans do crazy things to follow the team. A lot of times we don't see the player talk about it. Please discuss the personal sacrifice you made to join us from day one and train with the group. Thank you.
Good afternoon, first of all. Look, it was a decision I made together with my wife because basically she was the one who was going to decide this. I was very happy. We reached an agreement that we could have our child before traveling because for me it's also a unique opportunity. Here, we don't know if later on in the future we'll have the chance to play in another Club World Cup. So we're very happy. Thank God Miliano arrived well and we're in the final, so we still have one more step to conquer. Odie, so what now?
Arrascaeta scored twice versus Cruz Azul and assisted twice versus Pyramids. What can fans expect from him against Paris Saint-Germain?
The whole team showed great dedication. We're going to face a great rival. We know that, the best in the world. It's an extra motivation for us to play against a team of this quality, and I'm sure that both I and my teammates will give our best.
Rachka, when you speak.
They are different players. In 2019, we were very close as well. It was a team that played very well. We managed to go into extra time because we conceded a goal. But these are decisive matches. Anything can happen. They're finals. And like I said, finals are sometimes decided by details. And it's about being prepared for that.
Araska, what does this unique opportunity mean to you? You and Bruno are the only two players on this team who are getting the chance to experience this World Cup for the second time. Like in 2019, over these 6 years, you and Bruno have become the club's two most successful players. Have you realized what this story will become if you manage to win tomorrow?
We have this dream that the fans, after so long, can finally conquer the world, as we say. I believe we'll only understand the full impact after we stop playing, but we know it's going to be very difficult and we'll have to play an almost perfect game. But our dream is what keeps us alive and makes us believe. In the end,
I'm playing my 4th Club World Cup wearing the Flamengo jersey. What kind of experience has that brought you? Experience? What experience did we bring for this decisive match against Paris Saint-Germain?
More than that, I believe we have a lot of experienced players, many players who have also played in Europe, so it's a team that's very prepared for any kind of match. And as I said, the most important thing is to enjoy this moment here with our teammates, and God willing, may tomorrow be a magical day.
We know that you're going through one of the best phases of your career this season. Today in Qatar, the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, the best award, is held to honor the world's best. But after last European season, do you have the expectation that maybe, who knows, at the best awards you could be competing here among the best in the world? Even though it's not so common to see South American players at this award.
Look, honestly, I don't even think about any individual distinction or award. I only think about the group. And I believe that when the group achieves things, then individual recognition comes after. About science, and as I said, the most important thing is for us to always stay focused and committed to the team.
Did you guys even study Paris Saint-Germain? What is their team's biggest strength? Is it that midfield with Coutinho, who was up for best in the world? or the attack's mobility? What's the biggest challenge?
One of the best teams in the world. They have a lot of qualities. They have players who are strong, powerful, fast, and very skilled at speed. Like I said, it's one more motivation for us, and God willing, to play a great game and try to win this.
We just use our peripheral vision.
Go ahead then.
Coutinho, you have some of the most European experience and background among players. How much does that really affect tomorrow's match against Paris Saint-Germain?
I believe that for sure all experience is valuable and it ends up adding to the group, to the squad. And everything we do is always for the best and to improve the team in every possible way. So for sure it helps, and that's what we hope for.
Coutinho, Flamengo is usually the favorite going into a match. Now, one of the few times this year, they're not the favorite. What should Flamengo's attitude be against Paris Saint-Germain?
The attitude of respecting a great team that's having a great year, a great season, but also knowing our strengths and believing in what we do, because that's what brought us here. And for sure, we need to keep going down this path and for sure work hard.
Coutinho, everyone knows Paris is the world's best team. They won the Champions League. Felipe said that tomorrow needs to be a perfect game, that everyone has to go to their limit, leave everything on the field. Given your experience, what do you think Flamengo needs to do to achieve a historic victory in this type of match?
For sure, a perfect match would be necessary because of the kind of game it is, the greatness of it, and the team we're going to face. And we need to go beyond our limits to be able to win a game like this. We know that, and we're working for it. Now we just have to wait for tomorrow and see what will happen.
Coutinho, what have the locker room conversations been like among the players? You won the Libertadores, the Brazilian Championship, and now have a chance to play this historic match for the club against Paris Saint-Germain. Do you have any idea what this game means, what it could mean for the club's history, and how is it? Do you talk about that?
It ends up being a light conversation because we know how important it is. For sure, it's something that would be huge, but balance is important. I believe it's very important for you to be able to arrive at such an important game at a good moment with the perfect balance, so you don't try to do too much and also don't end up doing too little. So I believe that the details right now matter a lot.
Coutinho, what are Flamengo's weapons to beat Paris Saint-Germain?
You'll see that tomorrow, man. I can't tell you.
On the European side, we're with Palmeiras against Chelsea.
What's the difference in the way you approach the match?
Anything specific for Europeans or Americans?
I believe that the players themselves, the team itself, end up taking the match very seriously, which is to lift the trophy. I believe that maybe the environment is different, so that might end up being the only difference, honestly, because on the field, when you step in there, you want to win.
Coutinho, you started your journey at Flamengo with the Club World Cup, and you end your first half of the year at
Flamengo with the... I wanted to send him away. I was already scared. The first half of the year is over. It's over here, already at the Club World Cup.
How do you evaluate these first
months here at Flamengo? I believe these have been 6 very good, very positive, wonderful months. Arriving at a club and adapting so quickly, thanks to everyone's help and such a welcoming environment. And you end up winning so many titles like that, it's hard to even find something negative. Like maybe the 2 injuries I had in my leg were the only negative points I had.
Coutinho, you talked about the surroundings, which can make a difference in tomorrow's game. I don't know if you guys already know, in Rio de Janeiro, an optional holiday was declared, so everything stops at noon tomorrow. Do you think that this atmosphere from the fans, this desire that South American fans especially have to win the World Cup, makes a difference for you at this moment?
I believe it ends up having a bigger impact, and we obviously feel how much this represents and how important it is for our country. So yes, it does end up having an effect on the players.
Coutinho, your experience in soccer, what can it
bring a game like this?
Your experience from playing so many years in European football. What kind of contribution can players like you make in tomorrow's game with a South American team against a European one?
I believe it can help in terms of motivation and how much the details make a difference, how important they are. So, as I said before, balance is very important at this moment. I believe we can help with that.
All right,